Transformation in 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. Hope you're all doing all right. I got some sage from the garden here. Yeah, quite a bit to burn off. Cleansing that energy, cleansing that energy. Ooh, cleaning the crystal ball, cleaning ourselves, cleaning the cards. We're going to take a deep breath because I feel like we need it. I feel like we crossed some bridges, we crossed some barriers, maybe we implemented some barriers. Maybe we're starting to understand our own barriers and boundaries a little bit better here. This comes from a place of respect, right? A place of self respect. I feel like many of us, many of you, have been walked on for far too long. This is that weird, like, liminal space where you have I'm feeling a real indignance here toward anyone or anything who would dare to try you. And it's this really interesting energy of like a very calm force, right? Like, don't even try it. And I think that people are starting to really see this, notice this difference in you, notice this difference in the space. I was also seeing a heart in the crystal with just a few minutes ago, and it's still there. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's a heart, and there's like a little bird, and then lots of things in between. Those things could be messages, those things could be spoken from the heart. I feel like there is messages of love coming through. Like, could be romantic love, but it could be, like, again, respect, right? Had a wonderful conversation with a Native American man, smoking a cigarette at a bar one night a long time ago, and he set me straight and put some wisdom in me. And one of the things that he said was that in his culture, it is said that trust and respect are the parents of love, and without them, love is an orphan child. And I think that you are coming to this conclusion as well. Where have you put your love? Where have you put your faith? Where have you put your trust? And has it been in spaces of disrespect? Spaces that didn't respect you, places that were untrustworthy, right? So then you began to untrust yourself. Wow, weird. There we go. Thank you, Spirit. So you began to distrust yourself, right? And distrust your mechanisms for love. What is love? What does that mean to you? And I think that that has been a huge area of exploration for all of us, but especially those who have been affected and a parent, right? Those who were aware. I don't like using the common words that everyone's using nowadays because I think that they're supplemental, right? They're the bridges to get us to from one place of understanding to another, right? And so they might consider that maybe one not being able to see, and then suddenly you can see, right? And I'm hearing through a glass darkly, through a glass darkly. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna get that. So those of you who know me know that I have a broad spiritual scope, and so many. Some people call them the Book of Shadows. I don't have a Book of Shadows. I have a Book of Light. This is the Lux Clavis, and there's many philosophies in here. So if this resonates with you, take it how it resonates. For me, it was might have been a little difficult for me sometimes to take the wisdom from things that were from spaces that were unsafe. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Thank you, Spirit. We'll put the crystal back in the lab. We're just going to hold on to it right now. Finding the wisdom in the places that were unsafe, right? And so there's like this apprehension to believe what is said, or to take that nugget of wisdom, that pearl of truth, right? Because it's coming from a place that maybe was disrespectful, maybe broke your boundaries, maybe put you in a space of low self-worth. Okay, and so like it's important to be able to differentiate between those two things, right? That there is wisdom everywhere. There is light everywhere, right? And so even if it comes from a space, maybe you find light in that space and someone else finds darkness, right? That's the contrast. And 4444, thank you, Spirit. It's for now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face, now I know in part, but then I shall know even as I also am known. St. Paul, 1 Corinthians 13:12. I don't usually read Bible verses in my crystal readings and any of my divinatory readings, right? But there's this idea of like seeing through a glass darkly and then face to face. Right. So the first is like, I know in part, like seeing through the glass darkly, only being able to see part of it. Right. Because there's a distance between. I'm looking through that space. Maybe I'm looking into a mirror. Maybe I'm looking into the fog. Right. Maybe you're looking into something and seeing it through this glass darkly, through this veiled lens. Right. But then face to face, I shall know even as I am also known. So then when the light shines and it comes face to face, right, when you actually are seeing the thing and in touch with the thing, it's there's more revealed, more is able to be seen. You can get to know that person a little better. You know, you can have the idea that you know something or someone, right? But until you actually invest the time, spend the time face to face, like enter each other's atmospheres, hang out in each other's spaces, meet each other's people, right? Then you begin to actually know each other, and so you are also becoming known. And I think like there's this idea of that, like those spaces and places maybe previously that you were seeing through a shaded or veiled lens are now being exposed like in the brightness of light, and as are you. There's like a comfort that's coming through it because you're not letting yourself be messed with anymore by the shadow side of the darkness, right? Like, oh, is it darkness veiled? Is it a veil? Is it shadow? What is it? And you're peering through that. Light is coming through. This is amazing. And while it's happening, there is a return to love. There is a return to friendship, to peace, right? People are seeing your authenticity and the fact that you have your boundaries and that you have your self-respect. And so therefore they can trust you because they know that you will also trust them. And then love can be shared, right? And this, like I said, this doesn't have to be romantic. This is in like all the spheres, right? Your friendship spheres, your family spheres, your soul tribe spheres, even like I'm hearing love and apprehension at work. So it could have to do with like your work cohorts, your mates, your co-workers, right? Or even being seen at work. Like people are really starting to like the foundation that you're standing on is built from respect and therefore can be trusted, and therefore you know who you can trust. And I'm seeing this, like, see this circle, this like crown, right? These layers, the way that it stacks in layers here in this ball, and it's like coming to that space where you have risen above those things. And so I'm hearing it's no longer applicable, like that's no longer going to be an effective tool. People pulling the wool over your eyes or acting shady, you know, it's like a real vile thing to do to people, and they're going to be having to deal with the repercussions of their actions. You are going to be moving into light, and I think that you're starting to see that and not worry so much about did they get theirs or what they're doing. Like you know, it's like kind of like ancestor spirits. It feels kind of gross, and then you get the ick, and then you just move away from it, and it's you know, like there's something about that, or maybe you weren't trusting yourself previously in those spaces, or you were like, well, but maybe, you know, maybe I'm just reading them wrong. Maybe I'm just being affected by you're feeling really insecure. Like maybe you're just being affected by your previous experiences. So now you're pulling the shade over your eyes. I think that all of those things have been kind of come through in the wash. You've really had enough experiences, stood on your own 2 feet, but you're mostly trusting your gut, as that little light from the thing was shining through. You're mostly, you know, shining that light, trusting your gut. Ooh, ancestor spirits, guys, what messages do you have at the collective? Look at that 8 of Swords. Trapped all up in your head about it. A mental mind loop, looking at something. See how she's like looking at herself as if she's blindfolded, as if she's trapped. But if she truly was, she wouldn't be able to see herself in that state. I think that's like that reflection, like a hall of mirrors kind of a thing, and being actually completely free, understanding that trapped version of self, or that trapped thought loop is isn't the actual reality, right? It's a mental space. 3 of Wands, but what it's doing is it's blocking your opportunities and your ability to see the opportunities that are available to you. Thank you, Spirit. That's what this is talking about. You aren't tied up. It's like you're freeing yourself from this space. What is this? 8 of Pentacles. Wow, now 2 8s, 6 of Swords. Listen, as long as you stay trapped in here, you aren't getting anything done. There's a restlessness when there's 2 8s. It becomes like this Mobius thing, and then that was at 10-10, right? And keeping yourself stuck in that space is keeping you in, troubled waters. I think you're really starting to understand how much that mind loop has kept you stuck, or that thought, that veil, right? And as it's pulled through, and you're seeing yourself, knowing yourself as I am known. Right? So like moving through that space of vulnerability as I am known, what have you been creating when you've been sitting there staring in the puddle of like, I'm hearing antimatter of anti-thought. What was the thing I saw this morning? It was the existential void. It was like Kierkegaard, something about Kierkegaard dating the void, and having to scream and then go to therapy. I just got that so wrong, but okay. Thank you, Spirit. That's how it came out. Ancestor Spirit, what are we doing about this now? How do we get through this? Okay, so we see that. We see this. I'm hearing trepidation, being careful, overly extra careful. 7 of Pentacles. I want you to be patient. I want you to go ahead and tend your garden, work on those things that you've been working on. This has to do with your work. And again, like he's got the wheelbarrow here. He's ready to do some work. He's preparing. 11:22. He's preparing for that harvest. He's preparing for the things. It's like, get back to work. Get your focus back on straight, right? 10 of Swords. Whatever those things were that hurt you, whatever those things were, they're done and over with. 10 of Swords. Done. Can't get anywhere. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not even going to try to mess with you anymore. It ain't even worth it. It's not even fun. You aren't giving that the time of day. You're moving forward, and then they have to sit in their own shadows, because there is a completion there. Let them do that. You are getting back to work. Focus. Getting back to work. Here, being patient. I'm working through it. 7 of Cups, not confused anymore. Wow, look at all these are in the reverse, and you got that. Now you got 3 7s, 2 8s, 7, 7, 7, and an Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Listen, if you allow yourself to be taken over by confusion, if you allow yourself to stay in that like loop right there, it's going to keep you stuck in the mud. And again, this reinforcement of the idea of like, you ain't going anywhere, you ain't making any money, there is no pentacles there. Like really getting down to brass tacks with that. 10 of Swords. It is this thought process. It is these previous experiences that have put you in a state where you don't think that you have any options. So guess what? You have to create those options for yourself. Start planting, start germinating those seeds. It's going to take a while. Be patient with it. Be patient with yourself. We need resolution here, Spirit. We need, like, what is going on? They're saying take it how it resonates, because it's going to be different for all of you. Choosing different options. I'm hearing choosing different options. Look at that. 9 of Swords. It's kind of worry. It's a lot of anxiety, right, that you've been gone through. Bringing your confidence back here. King of Wands, taking that leadership position, taking that, again, knowing who is for you and who isn't, and no longer juggling the peanut gallery, the gossip ears, right? Standing firm in your power, stand in 8-8, right? That's that Leo energy. Here it is. Standing firm in that. If you're masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter. We have both. We have all the spectrum of that within each of us. All of us do. And it's like really like standing on your business, standing firm and looking and confident and moving forward. And again, like, you're not going to mess with this guy, right? And that guy is like, this guy is us, even me. I mean, maybe I'm that guy. You're that guy. It's like looking at those people that would, that didn't really have your back and would prefer for you to lose your balance because it kept you in this space. Because that's where they are. And that's what they know. And it's easy for them. But it wasn't easy for you. And that's why you elevated. And here you are, sitting pretty in that elevation. But at the same time, there's like this level of worry. I'm hearing distrust. Remember, trust yourself. And if you feel like you shouldn't trust other people, like if there's like some group of people that have shown you that they aren't worthy, or they've given you reason for pause. Take that moment and pause and, like, look, don't let it knock you off your course. Yep. Emperor in the reverse, Three of Swords in the reverse. Because people who don't have control over themselves, you're not letting people who don't have control over themselves, who want to try to dictate everything everybody else is doing through fear, through malice, through gossip, through triangulation, whatever this is, like taking away your resources. It's meant to drain your resources. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. It's meant to stop you up and keep you exactly where you are so that this person has control over the situation. But you know what? You aren't letting people like that break you down anymore. Nope. You are standing firm. This is fire with fire here. This is confidence with confidence. But this is the real deal. And this is the sunken ship. Who are you? You're the real deal. And real recognizes real. And real recognizes fake. And if it's meant to put you in a state of confusion or limit your options so that you have no mobility or no ability to pay your own way, and that's why it's causing you so much mental grief and anguish, right? You're really recognizing that and standing on business, being patient with those investments that you've made in yourself and trusting and really trusting. What's the resolution of this? Spirit, what's the resolution of this? Five of Swords, listen. I'm going to say, like, winning at all costs. And it says, unlock the sacred mysteries of tarot. I'm going to pull some clarifying cards on this, but there's more to come to light. That's what we were talking about. Go back to the crystal ball. There is more to come to light. And people are seeing this. You are not one to be messed with or trifled with. And it's going to take a lot of thought. And if they're keeping you in a space where you're staring at this instead of doing your work, they're winning. It's telling you focus your thoughts. Get that information. Take that action. Do what needs to be done. Stand on business. Remember who you are, collective. Remember who you are. Handshake. It says a meeting with a stranger might be beneficial. Maybe you're meeting this King of Wands energy. Maybe this King of Wands energy is going to help you see through this, right? Maybe they're recognizing the troublemakers here and what's actually happening in the background, right? And it's like you're shooting your arrow towards success. Bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. Bridging those gaps. The first thing we said in this reading. Bridging those gaps, bridging those boundaries. Maybe you're creating new boundaries, right? Handshake here. What's this say on the bottom? Wealth. It has to do with your coin. It has to do with your money. Pentacles all over this. Bridging this gap and taking control over the situation so that you can get back on top. If you've been in a shitty financial situation, guess what? You are no more. You're not taking that crap anymore. You're standing on your own 2 feet here. You're bridging that gap. You're meeting a stranger who's going to help you. Look, January. Maybe this gets resolved by January. Maybe this started in January, something to do with January. Maybe that person's like the beginning of the new year. I heard the new fiscal year. Right? And I'm also seeing this ice, like icing them out. Icing them out. Heart, love, deep affection, and caring. What are we talking about here? Trust, respect. So that you can get back to that space of love, deep affection, and caring. I'm taking that one. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, we're taking that one off. You got the heart and the wealth here. This is a lot. This is valuable. Your value, your time. You're really stepping up your game. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Good news coming through. Ooh, I like that. And then it says, birth or conception of a child or enterprise. I think that you're going to be starting something new. Crib too, maybe I'm hearing cribs. So maybe it has something to do with your home space, where you nurture your projects, right? A crib came out again. Something new is beginning here. Lion, time to act. There we go with that Leo energy. Time to act. Yeah, because this is I'm hearing the wealth of Hearing the wealth of the nation. Wow, that's a big deal. But if each of us collectively engages in proper spending habits and healthier relationships and doing better for ourselves, right, and just like cutting out the bullshit and disengaging with the bullshit, the whole heals. Everyone heals. Everything gets better. So I think that's a call. Thank you, Spirit. That call from Spirit. And you're like on the way there. And it's not just you. It's like a lot of people are like having this. We're not going to use those words, but I'm sure that it happens in the morning, right? What do you if you're sleeping all night? What happens in the morning? Embrace the in between, that crepusculous dawn. Thank you, Spirit, because we're on our way. And the space in between, this has to be done. This has to be done. You're going from one space to the next. You're not what you once were, but you're definitely on your way to who you are becoming, right? And I think that you're accepting right now who you are, right in this space, right in this place, right now, and you're okay with it. Love, trust, respect. Parrot Spirit, watch your words. Again, 5 of Swords. That idea of these words, words with words, fire with fire. Here we go. Be mindful of the things that you say. Be factual in the things that you say. Be mindful of what others are saying to you. And if it's a manipulation tactic or unfounded or they're trying to, pull a string, keep that in mind, okay? Be careful, and be careful, again, like standing firm, keeping that higher ground. Sometimes life stings. Sometimes you got to be the hornet, And sometimes you've been stung enough and you've learned, and that's why you've created your boundaries, right? That's why you created this space. So you don't have to deal with these people. I mean, the Emperor in the reverse with the 3 of Cups in the reverse. Those are some nasty critters. Those are some nasty people. Vile. I keep hearing vile. Unhappy, terrible, terrible behavior, not going anywhere, don't want anybody else to go anywhere, don't like themselves. It's a horrible, yucky energy, and you're moving away from it because you're tired of getting stung over and over and over and over and over. You've done learned your lesson. You are moving on. And if that means that you have to kind of defend yourself in the process by using your words, use them wisely. Okay. On the bottom, look, miracles are endless. Cow energy, cow spirit. The miracles are endless. The miracle is going to happen for you today. Absolutely it is. All right, we're going to get a soul truth, self-awareness, and then we're going to pull a cosmic critters. Animals are coming out today. And it's funny because look at Will her in here at Cosmic Chaos Kitten is sleeping in the kitchen in the sunny window. So ancestors, spirits, guys, what kind of self-awareness do we need for this situation today? Look, am I consistently showing up? Again, reliability. I'm hearing reliability. Am I consistently showing up? Are you experiencing a mountain of fear right now? Oof. Are you stalling, freezing up, or giving in? The juicy secret is you are the boss of your fear. You're unstoppable. But it's up to you to see that by taking action. Look, taking action, time to act. You see that? I'm going to put it like this because sometimes it's hard to wash it out. It says, today's soul action. Today, be brave and do it scared. Choose one fear and move through it. If you are in need of a hero, so that is who you will become. Wow. I love that. You are the boss of your fear and you are unstoppable. The fear can't stop you. No, the fear cannot stop you. And this is successfully overcoming that problem, bridging that gap, creating that new space, right? The healthy boundary, letting down the fearful boundaries, letting down all of that, defense, keeping the proper ones up. It's do we need all this? We definitely need that one. Leave that one there. that kind of an energy, that kind of a feeling. Ancestors, spirits, cosmic critters. Ooh, what type of animal spirit energy should we embody today? What would be the most helpful for us? This one? Camel, resourcefulness. Ooh, and then back to that seven of Pentacles energy. Back to that Seven of Pentacles energy. Being mindful, being tending the garden, being patient. Ooh, it says Journey Oasis Reserve. In the hot desert, the camel treads across the sand underneath the beaming sun, a searing landscape that only the toughest can handle. The camel guides you to find your own inner oasis, regardless of the climate of your current situation. Find your happy place and retreat into it whenever you need space to restore and restock your reserves. This doesn't have to be a physical spot. It can also be a stillness of the mind. The camel is able to travel long distances carrying the weight of hopes, promises, and treasures from faraway lands. Summon the camel to help you with your own pilgrimage, journeying from one land to another and bringing the depths of your own identity into the new world. The camel reminds you that you can handle the tough terrain and can offload burdens that are weighing you down. You are in for the long haul, which you are more than ready for. Wow. Like, what needs to stay and what needs to go? What burdens do you need to offload and what burdens do you need to keep? And also, or not burdens do you need to keep, but what's worth it? What needs to be carried across the past there, right? And flamingo spirit, the space in between. Finding that space of stillness is that space in between while you're busy being your own hero. Don't forget that there's a stillness in the space in between, and that it too is, it's saving. It's saving you. It's a space of solace. It's a space of grace. It's the space where you find that light, right? So that you can keep your center, because ain't nobody knocking you off it. You got places to go, gaps to bridge. All right. I hope that was helpful. I hope you got something out of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for remembering to hit like and subscribe if this resonated with you. And thanks for coming back and visiting us again next time. Bye.
Transformation in 3, 2, 1.